Hi, this might be the most important video I've ever done for people of my demographic. I'm going to try not to cross-pollinate, which I tend to do because my mind sees all of the interconnections and wants to note them all of the time. But I want to talk about something in the physical realm that crosses into energetic realms and how it might be affecting you. I actually did a video about this a few years ago, but I deleted it because I learned more and I don't edit my videos, so I wasn't gonna go back in and be like, you know. So I work with a lot of people who love narcissists, love sociopaths, very intrigued by them. And they're intrigued because they literally cannot fathom that there's people in the world who don't care, right? And they're codependently like, I could be the one to get him to care or her to care, right? So they tend to be, and if you read Earn Your Luck, A Field Guide for Living Beyond Your Narcissistic Parents' Wildest Dreams, you know this oscillation I'm speaking about. They tend to be very polarized in personality with a sociopath. So they're overly caring, overly loving, overly open, super diffuse in personality, really wanting to find a place that they can contain themselves in, and they strangely look for a sociopathic personality to contain them. And that's because a sociopathic personality only identifies as the container in the sense of they are the image, and they do not have the essence. And the codependent is more fascinated by essence, essential things, and they don't really have that sense of I'm going to wrap up my essence in my own sense of a container, like creating my physical space the way that I would want it, things like that. They're very relational and they can't understand somebody who's not, and they think they will crack the code. So if you're that person, and if you're a person who says, I mean, everybody deserves their place, you see the highest good in everybody, everybody deserves love, this is true, right? I deeply believe this, and I want to put this into a symbolism that's happening present day, and this might be too much information for you, but I hope if you're subscribed to my channel, you are real enough and bold enough to handle what I'm about to say, and let it connect some dots for you. So if you're that person, I am right now going through a parasite cleanse, and I want to talk about what that means because people talk about parasitic personalities, and I always got that like Teflon type feel, that like sticky, icky, gross, voidy feeling around parasitic personalities, or that just like I'm uneasy, right? I didn't understand the metaphor until I started understanding parasites in the human body. And I want to put out there that I watched a documentary recently about Blue Lotus, which led me to some documentary about how one of the mummified people way back in the day was just discovered to have parasites, right? So she actually died of a parasite or with a parasitic infection, not necessarily from a parasitic infection. So the fact that that is still observable in her mummified body over 2,000 years later means that there is life in parasites, right? There is a life in the parasites that 50% of people on the planet have in their body. They don't just go to your guts, they go in your blood and your lymph nodes, and they can even go to your brain, okay? So there's about a 50-50 chance that every one of us has parasites. So when you understand what a parasite is, it literally, and put in the metaphor of your home, comes into your physical body, comes into your energetic home, and takes all of the organic food that you've fed yourself all these years and all of the treatments that you've been, trying to get yourself healthy. It takes that, and not only does it take it so that you're depleted of yourself, it then shits out toxins in your home. And when they're left there, and I think that the reason that my parasite experience has gone on for so long is I didn't understand that I needed to be in a low acid body. And I used to be super alkaline, so it's really interesting, but I'm now doing a parasite cleanse. And I want to say something about this too, where I do a very particular kind of work in the world with one kind of person who's used to this kind of way of relating. So I'm not necessarily for everybody. Some people think I was a crazy bitch, right? Like they don't understand this way of relating. So the previous times, and the reason that I deleted my other parasite video was because I did a parasite cleanse and it was productive, but then I still felt all of the same ways and I actually would still see parasites. So I went to a functional medicine doctor who did muscle testing on me. And at first they gave me one particular kind of anti-parasitic, and then I went back and they did muscle testing and I was no longer testing for that and they did another. It used to require me doing enemas to produce something to actually see the results of the cleanses that I was doing. That's not happening. I am having legitimate worms that have lived in my body, made my, I don't know if it's my fingernails have been falling off for a long time. My freaking, I'm dizzy constantly, yada, 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 right? My eyesight has been terrible comparatively to what it was. So they are coming into my body. They're not just coming in where it's like, oh, come on in, right? I used to be like this, come on in, you don't owe me anything. You can eat all my food. You can take a shit in my house and not clean up the toilet afterwards. Come on in, sociopaths, I love you. Let me be the one who saves you, right? And in a way, that's what a parasite is. It literally shits in your home. And if you keep inviting it in, so you wouldn't look at the parasite that came out of my ass and be like, yeah, I'm gonna eat that, right? Let me just eat that, put that in my mouth. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. The most vile thing in the world. But we do it energetically a lot with parasitic people. And it's not that they don't deserve love. It's that when you recognize, oh, this thing is like, sure, that parasite deserves love outside of my body, right? It deserves love, sure, it's a life form, and it can be loved outside of my body. I don't want that in my body. And the energetic awareness of the process for me has been profound, because what I recognized the first time I did a parasite cleanse was that my boundaries were stronger. There was energetically more room for myself in my physical body. So I was moving out things that were consuming space in me that were not me. But the thing is with parasitic personalities, I work with codependents who would appear to be narcissistic truly because they're sucked dry in a narcissistic relationship and they don't know any other way of relating. So they're projecting to the outer world what they're being projected onto in their inner world, right? So we become energetically parasitic when we invite parasites into our house and do not say, I will love you from out there, right? We become the host of a parasitic infection, basically, when we continue to invite parasitic people into our lives. And then we wonder, why don't I have room for myself? Where am I in here? Why do I feel crazy? What's going on here? And I'm just here to say, one, you're not crazy, but I bet that's what they're telling you, right? And two, you might actually have parasites. And if you have parasites, you legitimately, physically and energetically, have less room for yourself. They're shitting in your body, building up in all of your systems. So think about this in terms of friendships with narcissists. You let them in, they infiltrate all of your systems, right? All of your systems. And then they run away with your system about how you somehow like are a terrible person or whatever it is. They're in it with an agenda to infiltrate your system. That's what a parasite does in your body. And when you get them out of your body, so this is my suggestion would be, people are going to say, hey, what parasite cleanse did you do? And blah, blah, blah. But that's why I was talking about this way of relating, that you have to go to a doctor who's going to test you for what your body is saying. I've done, I will suggest, I guess, I saw that David Wolf has a parasite cleanse that I would trust. But again, I did parasite cleanses like that before that I just kind of got over the counter that weren't specific to my body. And the ones that are specific to my body are I can literally feel my organs say I'm getting stronger. Despite feeling super tired and weak, I know that like it's kind of energetically creating more room for me and my body's doing what it has to do. So I just want to put this together for you, right? That if you feel parasitic, you might be literally. And if you feel parasitic because you're being sucked dry by somebody who is legitimately parasitic, you're parasitic, right? Like you're not lying to yourself. There is a theoretical sickness there. And it's not that these people don't deserve love. You might have raised a narcissist. You may be married to one and go, yeah, I love him. He's a total douche. But I'm intrigued and I love them. That's super fine. But when they infiltrate your life and when you continuously invite them in and you go, well, he deserves love because he's a good person. She deserves love because she tries. Well, guess what? All of the parasites in your body are going to be saying, I'm trying to, look at me. I'm trying to live off of you. Please don't let me die. You'd be a bad person if I died. It's not fair. Let me in, right? That's not okay, right? That is a pathology for somebody to go, okay, well, they're begging and they're trying to survive off of me. So let me just, let them stay a little longer and make me a little sicker and shit in me a little bit more. And, so there's this crossover, obviously. My work is in the energy realm in my practice. And I deeply believe that the body, it's all interconnected, right? So if you have voids in your body from these parasitic beings that will show up in your body 2,000 years later if you're mummified, because they are living in you, dying with you, instead of dying before you and letting you live. Just think about it that way, because yes, of course, parasites, they're beings. They deserve to be loved for being what they are on the planet. They are a creation of the kingdom. Yes, true. And if they're in your body, shitting in your house, if you keep inviting them into your house and going, I don't understand why I feel so sick every time this person comes around me. You're allowed to honor that. They deserve love. It doesn't have to be you that gives it to them. Somebody 100% will. But my guess is they have you believing, or you have you believing, you're the last person on the planet that they have. So you can't be the one to give up on them, right? And if they're hosting off of you, that's true, until they go find a new host, right? So I hope this is helpful. I think that's it. Bye.